Well, I am back with Greg and Kristen Taylor with Legacy Retirement Group, and we all know that fact is sometimes stranger than fiction. But today we want to be able to know the difference. So Greg and Kristen are sorting through a few common retirement fact or fiction beliefs here. So we are going to start with the first one. Most people will have a lower tax burden in retirement than during their working years. Kristen, lots of people think this.
Well, it can go both ways. If you're a higher income earner, then certainly upon retirement you could end up in a lower tax bracket. But if you're an average worker making an average salary in the 15% tax bracket, you could see an increase.
That's right, because we're in a lot of trouble as far as debt in our country. So if you think that the government might raise taxes in the future to help pay off some of that debt, then you might want to think twice about just deferring all your tax.
Okay, important advice. The next one, all financial advisors are the same, so it doesn't matter who you see. I'm going to go out and say this one is completely fiction.
You're right, it is fiction. Now,
see how smart you made me, Greg?
Well, it's fiction because it's not just whether or not someone's reputable, but it's whether or not they're the right fit for where you are in life. So if you're 20 or you're 25 or you're 30, you need that accumulation specialist, right? Someone that can help you build money, grow, learn how to save properly, and get great strategies for long-term growth where you dollar cost average into the market. However, if you're within 5 years of retirement,
that red zone we've talked about.
Yes.
Sure.
Or you're already retired, now can you really truly afford to take those big risks, especially when you need income? So that's really a fiction because you need the right one for the right time.
Right. And I imagine more than just risking your money, it's a risk to see somebody who doesn't know what to do with it.
Right.
On top of that.
That is a big risk.
The next one is bonds are significantly less volatile than stocks.
Well, it's fiction, and it's a different type of volatility. You know, we saw that great bond run as interest rates have gone down over the past number of years, but now we're in this low interest rate environment, and we have been. Interest rates have nowhere to go up, so then what does that do to bond prices?
Right, well, it's that inverse reaction. When interest rates rise, the value of a bond goes down. So people need to be aware of that they have some risk. It's just different than what they have in the stock market.
Okay, understand that one. Okay, this one, fact or fiction, and it's a common belief. The cost of living decreases in retirement.
We hear this one all the time. Yeah. And, you know, when you retire, you're going to have time on your side. You don't have a schedule to adhere to, at least a different type of schedule to adhere to. You may have health at this point, and when you're still young, maybe 55, 60 years old, if you're blessed to retire at that age, you're going to spend some money those first few years especially.
Right. People remodel their homes. Yes. You know, the husband finally has time for the honey-do list. I mean, you have the bucket list too, right? The things you've always wanted to do. And a lot of people, they get tensed up. They won't spend any money. They won't enjoy their retirement because they're so nervous. But if you really want to do the things you've always promised yourself, you need a spending plan, one that allow you to do the things that you've always dreamed of.
I like spending plans.
Yeah, exactly. And
hey, wait a minute.
How many times do we sit there, though, and we say, I can't wait to retire. I'm going to travel around the world. I'm finally going to have all these things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
They take money.
They do.
That's the big one.
Yes.
Okay. Finally, a simple mix of stocks and bonds are sufficient to provide enough income that I will not outlive.
Well, I like to say this is a Gregism, that you can never get a guaranteed income from a non-guaranteed account. Now, what I'm talking about is contractual guarantees. You want to know that you have a place that's going to provide dependable income the rest of your life. Can you get that from a stock? Is there any stock you know of that will promise you a certain rate?
No.
What about a bond? Well, I guess over time, yes, if you hold it long enough, but that's a long-term commitment. And are those rates really that great right now?
And he's alluding to that old rule of thumb, 50% in stocks, 50% in bonds. Withdraw 4% out a year, and you should make it through retirement without running out of money.
The key word there is should, right? Yeah. Because do you want to have a plan that says you should be okay? I mean, you know, I like to give this analogy where if I'm going to fly from Columbus to California, the pilot gets over the loudspeaker and says, we've had some problems, we believe we have them fixed, and we should be okay getting to California. You going to take that flight?
Yeah.
I'm not getting on it.
I really think he's got my best interest at heart. Yeah, no.
Not at all. And you know, people get stressed out about this stuff.
Sure.
They really do. And retirement should be a blessing. Retirement should be something that you look forward to, that you enjoy, it should not be a stressor. I mean, you shouldn't be stressed out about income. You shouldn't be stressed out about how much tax you're paying. You shouldn't be stressed out about health care or what you're going to leave to the people you love. You shouldn't be stressed about that. You should know that things are going to be okay.
And Greg, stress-free would be the ultimate goal in all of this. You do have a great offer with the Stress-Free Retirement book.
We do. We have a great friend, Patrick Kelly. He's done a fabulous job writing this book called Stress-Free Retirement. And we believe that everyone that's either retired or getting close to it should get a copy of this book, read it, and start implementing some of those strategies. So for the first 20 callers I believe we have today, if you'll call in, absolutely complimentary, we want to get that information in your hands. I think it'll be a big help.
Definitely will. Thank you. And your planning review as well. If somebody wants to come in, they can kind of get the lowdown on what you can do for them.
Sure. If they want to come in, Chris and I will sit down with them and we'll be glad to, first of all, hear their goals, their concerns, what they're trying to achieve, and show you what's slipping through the cracks and how we can help.
Yes.
All right. Sounds perfect. Thank you so much for being with me as always.